I never thought I'd be here. Not like this. The streets smell like rain and something else, something stale, something that sticks in your throat. My hoodie is pulled low over my face, my hands shoved deep into my pockets. A couple of guys huddle by the entrance, passing a cigarette back and forth. They glance at me, sizing me up. I step inside, and the warmth hits me first, then the noise. Voices mix together, some laughing, some arguing, some just murmuring to themselves. A woman at a desk barely looks up. "Name?" she asks, clicking a pen. For a second, I freeze. My real name feels like a secret I can't afford to give. "Eli," I say finally. She writes it down, nodding toward a hallway. "Dinner's in 20. You knew." I nod. She sighs, handing me a blanket. "Find a cot. If you snore, try not to be loud." People get touchy. I walk past rows of bunks, the smell of sweat and damp fabric thick in the air. A man sits on the floor near the back, eyes closed, muttering something I can't make out. Another guy, broad shoulders, missing a few teeth, leans against the wall, watching everyone like he's waiting for something to happen. I choose a cot near the corner. Safe, out of the way. As I sit, a voice beside me says, "First time?" I turn to see Marcus, maybe late 40s, sharp eyes, beard streaked with gray. He doesn't look like he belongs here, but then again, neither do I. "Yeah," I say. Marcus nods, studying me. "You from around here?" I think about the answer. The real one is complicated. Sort of. He chuckles, stretching his legs out. That's how you know you're in a shelter. Nobody ever gives a straight answer. Across the room, someone coughs, a deep, rattling sound. No one reacts. It happens again, louder this time. I glance over and see a man slumped against the wall, face slick with sweat. His breathing is rough, uneven. Marcus notices me watching. "That's Ray," he says. "Been here a while. Got sick a few weeks back. He won't go to a hospital. Says they won't take him." I frown. "That bad?" Marcus exhales slowly. "Bad enough." I stare at Ray, his body barely moving. Everything in me says to do something, to step in, to fix this. But that's not who I'm supposed to be right now. Right now, I'm just another guy in the shelter, trying to understand. A bell rings. People shuffle toward the dining area. Marcus stands, stretching. "Come on, eat while you can." Food runs out quick. I follow, glancing back at Ray. His eyes flicker open for a second, locking onto mine. He knows. I don't know how, but he knows I don't belong here. And yet, he says nothing. The coughing doesn't stop. It's worse now, louder, like someone choking on air. I lie on my cot, staring at the ceiling, listening. No one moves to help. No one even reacts. It's like they've learned to tune it out. I push back the thin blanket and sit up. Across the room, Ray is curled up against the wall, his body shaking. His breaths are quick, uneven. Marcus is awake too, watching him with a tight jaw. "He needs a doctor," I say. Marcus lets out a quiet laugh, shaking his head. "You new here. That's not how it works." I stand. "What do you mean?" He doesn't answer right away. He just watches as I cross the room toward Ray. Up close, he looks even worse. His skin is too pale, except for the parts that are flushed red. His lips are cracked. When I crouch down, his eyes flicker open. "Hey," I say. "You okay?" It's a stupid question. He's not okay. He's the opposite of okay. But I don't know what else to say. Ray swallows, his throat working hard. "I'm fine." His voice is rough, barely there. I glance back at Marcus. He's still watching, arms crossed. Why isn't anyone helping him? Marcus sighs. "Because help doesn't exist for people like us." I shake my head. That doesn't make sense. There are hospitals. There are doctors. People don't just get left to rot. "I have money," I say. "I'll pay for it." Marcus stands, walking over. "And then what?" He tilts his head. "You gonna pay for his follow-ups? His medicine? His bed when a shelter kicks him out for being too sick to take care of himself? That stops me. They'd kick him out? Marcus gives me a long look. "You still think this is about money?" I don't know what to say to that. Lisa appears beside us, arms wrapped around herself. Her dark hair is pulled back in a loose ponytail, her face thin and tired. "He doesn't have much time," she whispers. My hands ball into fists. "We can't just do nothing." Ray coughs again, hard enough that his whole body jerks forward. Something wet and dark stains his hand. Blood. Lisa flinches. Marcus curses under his breath. I don't think. I just move. Come on, I say, grabbing Ray's arm. We're going to the hospital. His body is limp, but he tries to pull away. They won't take me, he gasps. They have to, I say. Lisa's eyes dart toward the door. They'll know we took him. I don't care. I hook Ray's arm over my shoulder, forcing him to his feet. He groans, his weight heavy against me. Marcus steps in front of the door. This is a bad idea. I meet his eyes. Then help me. Something passes between us. A long, silent moment. Then Marcus sighs and moves aside. We step out into the cold night. Ray barely able to hold himself up. His breathing is worse now, wheezing, desperate. Lisa walks ahead, checking the street. It's quiet, empty. I don't know what's going to happen next. I just know the night air bites at my skin as we step out of the shelter. The streets are nearly empty. Just the occasional car passing, headlights cutting through the dark. Ray is barely standing, his weight pressing into my side. His breathing is shallow, each inhale sounding like it takes everything he has left. Lisa walks a few steps ahead, her arms wrapped around herself. She keeps glancing around like she's expecting someone to stop us. Marcus is right behind me, his steps slow, careful. We need a cab, I say, my voice low. Lisa stops, turns to face me. With what money? I reach into my pocket, fingers brushing against the few bills I brought with me. I hesitate. It's enough for a ride, maybe some food. But Marcus's words from earlier still sit heavy in my chest. Money isn't the problem. Lisa watches me for a second, then shakes her head. There's a clinic a few blocks from here. They won't ask too many questions. Ray groans, his head dropping forward. I adjust my grip, trying to keep him steady. His skin burns against mine. Let's go, I say. We move as fast as we can, but Ray slows us down. He stumbles every few steps. His legs barely work. I can feel his body growing heavier, like he's giving up. Halfway there, he stops. His knees buckle. I barely catch him before he hits the ground. No, I say, shaking him. Come on, Ray. Stay with me. His eyelids flutter. He's slipping away. Lisa crouches next to him. We need to get him there now. Marcus looks up and down the street. I'll get a ride. He jogs toward a gas station at the corner, disappearing into the bright lights. I focus on Ray. Hold on, okay? Just a little longer. His lips move, but no sound comes out. Then his body jerks, and he starts coughing again, harder this time. More blood. Lisa wipes her eyes with her sleeve. This is bad. I feel it too. This isn't just sickness. It's something worse. Marcus comes running back. Guy inside's calling an ambulance, he says. Lisa's eyes widen. No, they'll ask for ID. They'll send him away. I stare at Marcus. Tell them we'll pay. He shakes his head. It's not about the money. He's got no insurance, no address. They won't waste a bed. I don't understand. This is a human life. How can they just decide it isn't worth saving? Sirens wail in the distance, getting closer. Ray's fingers grip my wrist, weak but desperate. Don't let them take me, he whispers. The ambulance pulls up, lights flashing. 2 EMTs step out, moving fast. One kneels next to Ray, checking his pulse. The other looks at us. You been sick long? Lisa nods. Weeks. The EMT frowns, presses a stethoscope to Ray's chest. He's critical, but if he's got no coverage, I can't take it anymore. I'll pay. Just get him help. The EMT doesn't look surprised. It's not that easy. I stand, fists clenched. Then make it easy. Marcus steps between us, his voice calm but firm. Look, we know how this goes. If he goes with you, he's back on the street by morning, worse than before. The EMT exhales, looking at Ray, then back at us. There's nothing I can do. They stand up, start packing their equipment. I feel something snap inside me. You're just going to leave him? They don't answer. Ray groans again, his hand slipping from my wrist. Lisa wipes her face. This isn't right. Marcus looks at me, his eyes knowing. Now you see. The ambulance pulls away. The sirens fade into the distance. Ray is still lying on the ground, and no one is coming to save him. Ray is gone. I wake up to the sound of voices, low and tense. The shelter is colder than usual, the kind of cold that sinks into your bones. My back aches from the stiff cot, but that doesn't matter right now. I sit up fast, scanning the room. Marcus and Lisa are by the door, whispering. Lisa looks worried. Marcus looks like he already knows how this is going to end. I throw off my blanket. Where's Ray? Lisa's arms are wrapped around herself. They took him. I don't understand. Ooh. Marcus exhales, rubbing a hand over his face. Shelter staff. Middle of the night. Said he was too sick to stay. My stomach twists. Where is he now? Marcus doesn't answer. I grab my shoes, shoving them on. We have to find him. Lisa's eyes flick toward the shelter's front desk. The woman from before is there, pretending not to hear us. I walk over fast, heart pounding. Where did they take him? She sighs like I'm wasting her time. Not my problem. I slam my hand on the desk. Where did they take him? She leans back, arms crossed. Out. Marcus pulls me back. Not here, he mutters. Lisa is already at the door, pulling on her coat. I follow her outside. The air is sharp, heavy with the smell of wet pavement. He could be anywhere, Lisa says, voice small. I shake my head. He couldn't have gotten far. Marcus steps up beside us. If he collapsed, they probably dumped him somewhere quiet. Lisa swallows. That means an alley, a backlot, somewhere people don't look. We split up, moving fast. I walk down the first alley I see, my breath coming out in short clouds. Every shadow looks like a person. Every bundle of blankets on the sidewalk makes my chest tighten. I call his name. No answer. I check near dumpsters, behind old crates, anywhere someone might leave a man they don't want to deal with. Nothing. An hour passes. My hands are numb, my jaw locked tight. Then Lisa's voice, sharp in the distance. Over here. I run. She's standing near a boarded-up building, her hands pressed to her mouth. Ray's there, slumped against the wall, his head tilted down. He's barely breathing. I drop to my knees, shaking him. Ray, wake up. His eyes flicker open for a second. His lips part, but no words come out. Lisa is crying. Marcus kneels beside me, checking for a pulse. His face is unreadable. I don't know if we're too late. I don't know if I can fix this. Ray isn't moving. Lisa keeps whispering his name, like maybe if she says enough times, he'll wake up. Marcus presses 2 fingers to Ray's neck, searching for a pulse. His face is too still. I grab Ray's arm, shake him. Come on, stay with us. His eyelids twitch. A flicker of something. A weak breath. Lisa lets out a shaky exhale. He's alive, but not for long. His skin is ice. His breaths are shallow, barely there. If we don't get help now, we'll lose him. Marcus glances at me. We don't have time to argue this time. We call 911. Lisa hesitates. They already left him once. I don't care, I say, pulling out my phone. My fingers shake as I dial. The call connects. 911, what's your emergency? I open my mouth, ready to lie, to say anything that will make them come. But Ray's head shifts slightly, and he mumbles something. I lean in. What? His lips barely move. No, hospital. My stomach twists. Lisa shakes her head. He won't make it without one. But Ray's fingers curl around my wrist, weak but sure. His eyes open just a sliver, locking onto mine. He knows I'll listen. The voice on the phone is waiting. Hello. I hang up. Lisa stares at me. What are you doing? We take him ourselves. I stand up fast. Marcus, help me. Marcus doesn't argue. He moves to Ray's other side, looping an arm around his shoulders. Ray groans as we lift him, but he doesn't fight it. He doesn't have the strength. Lisa rushes ahead, searching the street. We need a car. My mind is racing. I have cars. I have people who could fix this in minutes. But I can't call them. Not without giving myself away. A beat-up sedan slows as it nears us, an older man behind the wheel. Lisa weighs him down. The window rolls down. What's wrong with him? Lisa's voice is pleading. Please, just take us to a clinic. The man hesitates, eyes flicking between us. Then he unlocks the doors. Get in. We pile into the car, Ray barely conscious in the back seat between Marcus and me. Lisa gives the driver an address, and he pulls into traffic. Ray's head lolls to the side. His breath rattles. Lisa twists in her seat, looking back. We're almost there. Marcus mutters under his breath. Not fast enough. Ray suddenly shudders, his whole body tensing. Then he goes completely still. Panic grips my chest. Ray. No answer. I shake him harder this time. Ray. His body is limp. Lisa's hands fly to her mouth. No, no, no. Marcus leans in, pressing fingers to Ray's neck again. This time, his expression changes. He looks up at me. He's gone. The words knock the air from my lungs. Lisa is crying. The driver keeps glancing at us in the rearview mirror, gripping the steering wheel so hard his knuckles turn white. The car slows in front of small clinic. I don't know why we still go inside. Maybe it's hope. Maybe it's just denial. A nurse rushes over when she sees Ray's body. They take him from us, disappearing into a back room. We sit in silence. I stare at the floor, my hands still stained with the dirt from Ray's clothes. This wasn't supposed to happen. Marcus doesn't say anything. Lisa just keeps wiping her face over and over like she can't believe this is real. And the doctor comes out. He looks at us, his face tired, and shakes his head. Lisa lets out a quiet sob. Marcus looks away. I just sit there numb. This is what it feels like to lose. I don't realize I'm crying until Lisa reaches over and squeezes my hand. And then she whispers, "Who are you?" My stomach drops. She's staring at me now, really staring, like she's putting pieces together. Marcus frowns, his gaze flicking between us. I open my mouth, but no words come out. Lisa tilts her head. "You're not like us, are you?" Marcus's eyes narrow. I feel the weight of the secret pressing down, crushing me. They're starting to see it. They're starting to see me. Ray is gone. The words keep repeating in my head, but they don't feel real. I keep waiting for someone to come out and tell us there was a mistake, that he's still in the back, breathing alive. Though we didn't fail him. But no one comes. Lisa hasn't spoken in minutes. She just stares at the tiled floor, her hands clasped so tightly her knuckles are white. Marcus leans forward, elbows on his knees, eyes fixed on some invisible point in the distance. The weight in my chest is unbearable. I swallow hard, forcing myself to breathe. My voice cracks. I clear my throat and try again. We should do something. Lisa blinks slow, like she barely hears me. Like what? I don't have an answer. Marcus exhales through his nose, shaking his head. There's nothing left to do. I look at him, at the exhaustion in his face. We can't just what? He turns to me now, his voice flat. Bring him back. Silence. I feel the heat of Lisa's stare before I even turn my head. She's looking at me again, that same expression from before. Suspicious. Searching. You never answered me, she says softly. My heart pounds. Marcus frowns. What? Lisa doesn't break eye contact. Who are you? Every muscle in my body tightens. Marcus looks between us. What are you talking about? Lisa swallows. I don't know, but something's off. She shifts slightly in her chair, like she's seeing me for the first time. You're different. I force a small laugh. What does that even mean? Her eyes narrow. It means you don't belong here. Marcus tilts his head. Lisa, what? She doesn't look away from me. Who carries around cash like that? Who talks about hospitals like they can just buy their way in? And who looks that? She gestures toward me, frustrated. That clean after weeks in a shelter? I open my mouth, then close it again. Marcus straightens, his expression sharpening. Wait. Lisa presses forward. I don't know what's going on, but you're not like us. Her voice lowers. So why are you here? My pulse thunders in my ears. I can lie. I can deny it. But it won't work anymore. Ray is dead, and I failed him. The truth is, I don't belong here. Not in this shelter. Not in this world. Not in their pain. I can feel the weight of their stares pressing down on me. Lisa is waiting. Marcus is waiting. And I know there's no escaping it now. I take a slow breath. You're right, I say quietly. Marcus tenses. Lisa's eyes narrow. I don't belong here, I admit. Not the way you do. Lisa's jaw clenches. Then why are you here? The truth sticks in my throat. I glance at Ray's empty chair, the spot where he should be. The weight in my chest grows heavier. I wanted to understand. I say finally. Lisa lets out a sharp laugh, but there's no humor in it. Understand what? What's like to starve? To freeze? To lose someone and know nobody cares? She shakes her head. You don't get to understand. You get to leave. Marcus is still staring at me, quiet, unreadable. Who are you? I hesitate. It doesn't matter. Lisa's face hardens. It matters. I look down at my hands. They're clean. Too clean. Even now, after everything, I don't look like them. I never did. I take another breath. My name is Elon. The words feel strange in my mouth, like they don't belong here, in this room, in this moment. Marcus's eyes flicker with recognition, but he doesn't react. Lisa just stares. Elon, what? She asks, but I know she already suspects. I meet her gaze. Musk. Silence. Lisa doesn't move. Marcus exhales through his nose. Then Lisa laughs again, but this time, it's almost dangerous. No. No way. I don't say anything. She shakes her head. You're telling me you've been here, sleeping in a shelter, starting with us, watching Ray die, and you could have stopped it? Her voice cracks on the last words. I tried, I say, but it sounds weak. Lisa stands up so fast her chair scrapes against the floor. You tried. She gestures around. Do you know what we go through? Do you know what Ray went through? Her voice rises. And you what? You want to play homeless for a while. Marcus stays seated, but his eyes are locked on me. Why? I swallow. Because I didn't know. Lisa scoffs. Didn't know what? What's really like? My voice is quiet. I thought I did. I thought I understood poverty, suffering. But I didn't. I look at Ray's empty chair again. Not until now. Lisa folds her arms. And now what? You get your little social experiment and go back to your mansion. Her words sting, but I can't blame her. Marcus finally speaks. What are you going to do? The question stops me. Because I don't know. I came here thinking I could just observe, that I could learn something. But Ray is gone, and learning isn't enough. I meet Marcus's gaze. I don't know yet. Lisa scoffs again, shaking her head. Figures. She turns to leave, but I stand up. I don't want to just walk away. She stops but doesn't turn around. I could do something, I say. I don't know what yet, but I can. Marcus watches me, his expression unreadable. Lisa finally turns. Her eyes are red. Then do it. I nod, but I don't move. Because for the first time in my life, I have no idea what to do next. The shelter looks different now. I don't know if it's because I see it differently, or because the weight of Ray's absence makes everything feel colder, emptier. The cot where he used to sleep is still there, but it means nothing now. Just an empty space, like he was never here at all. Lisa and Marcus haven't spoken to me since that night. I don't blame them. I walk down the street, my hands deep in my pockets. The city is loud, busy, like nothing has changed. Like people haven't died in the alleys just a few blocks away. I wonder how many people have walked past Ray, past Lisa, past Marcus without ever really seeing them. I used to be one of them. I stop at a street corner, watching the crowd move past me. People in suits, people with places to be. I used to be one of them, too. And now? I don't know. I pull out my phone and stare at the screen. I could make a call. I could fix this shelter overnight, pour money into it, make it the best one in the city. But would that fix anything? Would it have saved Ray? No, because it's not just about money. It's about the way the world sees people like him. Like Lisa. Like Marcus. The way I used to see them. I need to do more. The first call I make is to a lawyer. The second is to an engineer. 3 months later, the shelter is gone. Lisa stands beside me, arms crossed, watching the demolition. She doesn't say much, but I can tell she's still angry, still hurt. Marcus is on my other side, hands in his jacket pockets. So what? You tear it down and call that a solution? No, I say. I call it a start. Because in its place, something better will rise. A shelter, yes. But more than that. A place where people don't just survive, but rebuild. Where they aren't just seen, but valued. Lisa shakes her head. And you think that changes anything? I don't answer right away. Because I don't know. But I know one thing. I won't forget Ray. I won't let the world forget him either. Lisa turns to leave, but this time, she stops. Just for a second. Then she nods, barely, and walks away. Marcus stays a little longer. Then he sighs and follows her. I stand there alone, watching the dust settle. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like I see clearly.